Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Planescape Torment. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today as we experience the sensory stones. These are the standard ones. We're still messing around with the standard ones here in the public sensorium, and we're seeing what they are. So let's see what this one is here in particular. It's the Tired Surrender. Let's begin the sensation. Shuddering, chattering, oh boy, hoping beyond hope to be found, you curl into yourself beneath a blanket of snow to save what little warmth you have left, fighting to keep your eyes open, to remain awake. You become aware that you can no longer feel your arms, your legs, the ice against your face, and tired, so tired, you at last resign to the inevitable. You close your eyes, bidding sleep a bitter welcome as the sense of loss forces a single tear, doomed to crystallize before it even reaches your cheek from your aching eyes. Well, just gaining experience. And yeah, the soundtrack is stuttering of things because of the loading thing and all that. So let's start with this guy. Let's get another sensation. I need a standard one. That was the Tired Surrender. Let's go with a Supernatural Lust. And let's not have a chat with that bodacious lady over there. Let's have a chat with the Supernatural Lust. You find this one is I think the first one of the ones I read. You know, the description of the first one that really interests me, because I mean I can connect with both of those, but both of those at the same time. You find yourself coupling with a succubus. Oh, that's not very supernatural then, I suppose. Or, let's see. A creature, I mean, she's supernatural, just the lust part is not necessarily that. A creature of such intense, otherworldly beauty that even her fiend's horns and thrashing tail give you no pause. Why would they? She gasps under you. You desire her so completely that the wall of your existence seems focused towards this single goal. As your life explodes from you in a starry burst, you hear the delighted laughter of the succubus as she drains you dry, leaving your body but a soulless husk. Yep, sure, sounds a little bit more like a vampire. Actually, a vampire is the thing that I would most immediately think of, because those actually invoke feelings of lust and supernaturalness. Oh, come on, soundtrack. Just come back. Oh, seriously? Must be something wrong with my installation then, or something. Let's see. I'd like another... yeah, let's go with that. What about the others? Yeah, we got Psychosis. Psychosis sounds... well, interesting is probably not the word. Let's see what happens. Oh, this is not it? Oh, maybe it's... oh, I didn't read. Maybe it's this one over here. Maybe it's this one down here. Let's see. It is not. Okay, well, I can read. It's easy. So, the stone you shall use, or shall you want to use, is in one of the smaller chambers, one room clockwise from the stairwell, and it is greenish yellow in color. What? Really? It's that one. Okay, well, let's go with that. The experience is a strange one, the Psychosis one, very disturbing. You have the point of a knife pressed to someone's throat, your hand clamped over their mouth, and breath hot and heavy in their face, or breathe hot and heavy in their face. You begin to stab them, slowly. The knife dimples their skin and eventually breaks it. There is the hot rush of blood over your forearm, the sound of strangled respiration, a horrible sense of perverted glee. And it is over. Is that what Psychosis is? What? Is that not a little bit more of psychopathy than Psychosis? Because those are different things, completely different things. Let's talk about the others. Festering Jealousy. Festering Jealousy will do. Yeah, I assume it's this one over here. Indeed, you feel your lip curl as the fair-haired young hero, armor gleaming like a polished silver mirror, once again enters your tavern. Hanging his velvet cloak on a wall peg, he surveys your patrons with a pair of eyes like sea gems and a smile that sets the tempting wenches swooning. You set the mug you're cleaning down in a rump loudly, thinking of what it'd be like to turn him upside down and shove him in a rain barrel. Seems like we're getting very masculine or traditionally masculine sensations all over the place. Not anything like the sensation of swooning, I guess. You know, at the sight of the gem-eyed dude, or just coming into the tavern or whatever. Let's see, festering jealousy, bitter loathing. Let's go with that. And traditionally, anyway, the festering jealousy would be one that you could easily associate with the stereotypical female characters or female experiences, I guess. Venomous tears of pain brimming in your narrow yellow eyes. You gather the tattered remains of your small, scaled red wings off the floor. You humbly back out of Groba's study, gritting your needle-like teeth beneath the beneath sealed lips. Sure, you're only a Spinagon, least among devils, but that's no cause for a peat fiend to tear your wings off because he doesn't like the message you've brought him. What will your Gulagon master do now? He certainly can't say anything to Groba, and what use is a Spinagon without its wings? You'll probably get cast into the pit of flame for incompetence. Vengeance out of the question. There's little to do but shake your clawed fist and hate Groba with all the loathing your hard little black devil's heart can muster. That's the bitter loathing. Well, should have known that from the start, you stupid devil. Yeah, I suppose that was bitter loathing on right there. Okay, helpless loathing would be a little bit more, I guess. But yeah. So let's go with pure glee. Well, let's find out what glee is, because as I said last episode, I don't really know what it means. Dancing and leaping about in rhythm with the wood elves' bouncing festival music. You and a dozen other dancers spin through the forest clearing like a whirling dervish, smiling and laughing like mad. As the cheering forest dwellers whoop, clap, and dance alongside you, fairies careen through the air above your heads, leaving sparkling trails of colored light. Okay, well, is that just blissful happiness or something? Not really sure. Okay, let's go with standard again and go with the others. We have frightened exhilaration. And that's going to be that one over there. Let's see. You twist your head to look up at the large contraption strapped to your back. A set of 4 bat-like... Is that frightened exhilaration? Because it's kind of similar to one that we felt before, about the one... where we were basically breathing underwater. A set of 4 bat-like wings extend from out of it, each made of leather pulled taut over wicker frames. From the precipice you're perched on, Dilgyar's floating fortress appears as but a tiny speck suspended in the blue-gray sky, miles away across nothing but empty air. This is how everyone travels on the plane of air, they said. It's easy. You smirk, step back a ways, and make a running leap off the cliff into the cool wind below, leaving your stomach behind. As the wings suddenly catch the air, an amazing rush shudders through your entire body as you soar out over the nothingness and towards the elemental prince's abode. It's interesting because that's more or less what we'd feel like if, well, what we imagine it would feel like if we could fly. But then people who actually have flown in, like, jet wings and stuff like that, and they don't describe it quite like that. It's different. It's quite different, actually, because what we imagine to be... Because it's a lot more sensory than that. I don't... I've never read about delta wings, though. But I've read an account of a French dude who has flown a jet wing, which is basically like a delta wing, a little bit smaller, with a jet strapped to it. And he talks about wind. A lot of wind. It's like, yeah, he says it's a lot like swimming more than flying, which makes a lot of sense actually, because swimming is kind of flying, except slower. But anyway, let's see what the other one is. Standard, please. Let me talk about the other ones. That one's frightened exhilaration. Yeah, I didn't really get a lot of fright from that. But let's go with a grim determination. Why is it grim? Well, if the first one is irrelevant, like in the frightened exhilaration bit, maybe it's not grim at all. The entire hall is in ruins and still in the process of being destroyed, as dozens of combatants hurled weapons, deadly arcane magics, and themselves at one another, in a desperate struggle to be the last one standing. Plumes of acrid green smoke rose from the pile of limp bodies you dragged yourself out of, having barely escaped the wrath of some fiendish spell. There it was, across the way, through the battling throng, through the bloodthirsty battle ahead of you, sitting untouched on a miraculously upright table, your pint of mead, and you'd get it back if you had to kill every last one of the brawling tavern patrons to do it. Oh! How is that? Well, that's determination, but that's foolhardy determination more than grim. It's not really grim, because grim would be you rip this guy's throat out just for that beer, and you don't need to just you don't need to tell me about the beer at the end. That doesn't make it any more determined. If anything, it makes it less determined. Tell me about it from the beginning. I like the first ones better. The first experiences. Let's go about this one, and that's gonna be the last one. Yes, indeed. Complete bafflement. Well, there's a lot of very interesting ways that Mr. Chris Avellone could write this one. Let's see if it is written by him. I wouldn't think so. I don't think these are written by him. It's that the writing is not. He has a very specific style of doing things. I can't really put my finger on it. But yeah, you awake from uneasy dreams to find yourself transformed into your dank. Yeah. It doesn't seem like this one is his immediately. In your dank lair into a rather small, four-limbed, fleshy thing. I think it's the way he. Just sorry to go on a tangent here, but you see this dank lair, rather small, four-limbed, fleshy thing. It's the groups of the nouns, of the agents of each thing. I think, but he doesn't go into that much detail on those things. He doesn't freely add adjectives, which I actually like to have adjectives every once in a while. And this is really cool because there's a cadence to that, and I like it. But I like his writing very much to the point where I can just immediately tell it's him. Every time I look back at stuff that I've read of him, not knowing it was him, I'm immediately, it's like the Weeping Mother, I think it's Weeping Mother? It was, in Pills of Eternity, or what's his name in Tyranny, in Tides of Numenera, but it's very easy to tell that it's him. He just doesn't freely use that. He uses different ways of describing things. But anyway, you're lying on your shellless, what? You're lying on your shellless. Yeah, sure. My shellless. What is that? Is that my car without gas in it or something? Because what is it? As it were wholly unprotected. Oh, that's another thing. That anastrophe over there. That is just actually it's apostrophe. Is it apostrophe or anastrophe? I never know. Anyway, that inversion of the order. So basically, you're lying on a shellless back, as it were wholly unprotected, and when you lift your tiny head, unadorned with its usual sensory antennae, a little you can see your pink. What? Oh my god. Yeah, your head a little. Though that's okay. Let's read this so you guys can understand, and I can understand as well. You awake from uneasy dreams to find yourself transformed in your lair with a rather small fleshy thing. You're lying on your shellless back. When you lift your tiny head a little, you can see your pinkish belly, curling hairs, partially covered in soft curling hairs, while quite unlike the black bristles you're accustomed to seeing there. Your two legs now jut from the end of your torso, rather than up from around your abdomen. They look thick and ungainly in proportion to your body, and lie there limply, making no attempt to right you on their own. Only by actively concentrating can you move the things. What has happened to you? I think I've been turned into a person. Oh no, it's Kafka's nightmare all over again. Actually, I'm not speaking from experience because I have never read about that specific Kafka thing, but I've only heard mentions, but there we go. That was probably a cockroach that got turned into a person. Lovely. Okay, so what can I do over here about the others? So we got complete bafflement. I have, tell me about the extravagant ones. Okay, so let's go on these ones. Horrible regret. Is that extravagant, apparently? Yeah, fine choice. The stone you shall want to use is in one of the larger chambers, 3 rooms counterclockwise from the stairwell, excuse the hiccup. Okay, 3 rooms counterclockwise from the stairwell. Reddish orange in color. Really? Huh. No, that's... What? Oh, this is clockwise, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, so that's... Sure, whatever. It's this one. Okay. Excuse me. Let's find out about horrible regret. This has potential. You stand on the deck of your flagship, the Divine Hammer, as it floats over the continent of Agarheim, held aloft by the winds of magic. The very landscape roils and shudders beneath the bombardment of your feet. 1,000 ships, cannons, and bombards hurling their sorcerous fire down like vengeful gods. The shockwaves began to hit your ship only minutes ago, a constant vibration that sends shudders through the wall of the ancient craft and moves your very bones, accompanied by a constant rumbling bass. As the land's mountains begin to sink and the seas that surround it begin to boil off into the atmosphere, your first officer comes to stand beside you. Oh, it's extravagant because it's a lengthy one. Yeah. My Lord Admiral, permission to speak freely, sir? You nod your acquiescence. I know what that means. I can't pronounce it. You nod your agreement, your stomach sinking as you guess at his question. My lord, forgive me, but how? What gives us the right? 1 billion lives. You speak without turning to him, unable to take your eyes off Rumos, the nation's vast capital city, as it vaporizes into a cloud of superheated gases 12 miles across, growing ever wider. If you only knew the full treachery of the Agarites, First Officer Felm, one which is beyond most any man's comprehension, then you would know. You would speak of your right to annihilate them? We've no right to let them live. Huh. Okay, I thought he was gonna... Yeah, well... Yeah, that's an interesting... I probably done before, but I've never read it like that. When it's just like, what gives you the right to take my life? And he goes like, what gives me the right not to take it? And like, you know, just turn it on its head. I'm not defending the guy, I have no idea what's going on. But probably just genocide and terribleness. But anyway. But sir, traitors, all of them? Surely among the hundreds of thousands, how many innocents? Silence. Speak of it no more. Our king has spoken. His will be done. The task set to us is a horrible one, not fit for contemplation or questioning. There is no room for pity, no room for remorse. Only duty. Yeah, that's what I figured he would do. Just like, nothing gives us the right. We have no right. We're not doing it. Because that's traditionally what happens. It's just, you're not the one doing it. You're just following orders. As the two of you stand silently for a time, watching the last minutes of Argaheim. At long last you sigh, a low stuttering exhalation that sounds as if something has broken inside you. Beneath the brazen plate that covers the ruined half of your face, your dead eye begins to weep. Falm, my friend, I would have you understand. I know now, as I look down at what I have wrought here, that were I to think upon what I have done, what I have truly done, I would be struck mad. A deed such as this, the anguish would overwhelm, destroy me. So, First Officer Falm, it must be that there are no innocents in Argaheim. No mothers, no children, no people. Only traitors. Vile, cunning traitors who deserve no less than the full brunt of our most holy king's wrath. Do you understand this? Yes, my lord. Good. Now go. I wish to be alone here. By your command, Lord Admiral. Falm bows his head and returns below the deck, leaving you to stand over the end of a civilization. Apparently I've a vaguely similar memory as well. Which doesn't surprise me, to be honest. That is one way of taking that memory right there. From what I've read from, well, only the accounts of, actually I don't remember their names. I probably should, but it's foreign names, it's English names, I don't remember. But from the guys that commanded Enola Gay and Karsbok, the two B-29s that dropped the atomic bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Their accounts are quite different from that. And specifically from the guy that led the one in Nagasaki, or that dropped the bomb in Nagasaki. And also the situations are completely different. In every single way of imaginable. There's a lot more room in Nagasaki, at least Nagasaki, to say, oh, it's all collateral damage. They're all workers, but they're working for the war and all that sort of stuff. And Hiroshima, I'm not sure if that's how it went. But that's one way of looking at it. I personally don't condone anything, but if that guy, I'm of the mind that if you need to go mad because of the stuff you've done, then you owe it to yourself and to the people who you've wronged, if you've wronged anybody, to actually go mad. So face your crimes, look into the abyss, and let it look back at you and just go mad. And if you're strong enough, which you probably should be, you're not gonna go mad. You're just gonna understand what you've done and either atone or come to terms with it or hate yourself for it, but whatever. Just face yourself. Face the stuff you've... Because it's just cowardice, really. That's the end of it. It's just the cowardly... No, there's no children in there. There's no women. Or mothers, actually, in what he said. But yeah, anyway. So, another sensation. Give me the extravagant ones. That was good, though. I like it. Shock and... what? Shock and a rise to seething vengefulness. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That is the opposite. That is the opposite of what I like. It's probably not this one. Yeah, but if you're shocked... empathy should follow, not anger. But let's see what happens. Depends on what it is. Shock and a rise to seething vengefulness. You stand somewhere in the nether regions of the plains, a sweltering place where the ground is beaten copper and the sky is of brass. Here the bodies of sinners, petitioners in this horrid place, are rolled against iron brambles and bronze scorpions until their bones are fine grey dust. You squint at the horizon, the bone dust rising with putrid-smelling gusts of wind that carry with them the sound of agonized moaning. There's nothing but flat, metallic landscape as far as the eye can see. The dust is everywhere, in everything. It stings at your eyes, coats the insides of your mouth with a pasty film. You spit, wiping at it with your finger, but it's of no use. The stuff's taste has fouled your mouth completely. You look down at the key in your hand, a minute platinum orb. Picture the man's face who solemnly swore to you the magical portal you just passed through, now gone of course, led to the green fields of Bytopia. Someone, by all the powers and their proxies, was going to pay for this one. Oh, it's vengefulness for yourself. Okay, that's a different thing then. Anyway, stir. Well, that's gonna be that. Apparently that has happened to me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they all will have happened to me at some point. Let's go with the extravagant ones once again. Slowly dawning horror. Oh boy. That is a nice one, especially if you time the writing properly. Let me try and do it justice. How could it be, you think, regarding the burgundy liquid carefully? Across the table from you, the twisted old man smiles slyly. Please try, sir, he whispers, his hushed voice the sound of dry leaves blown over a roughly cobbled street. Thou shalt find it more than... Thou shalt find that it more than lives up to thy expectations, I am sure. You nod at him and lift the crystal goblet into the air, watching the light play through the crimson liquor. You'd come a long way for this drink, such long and hard for this old man, and you'll be damned to let anything rush you now. The moment was to be savored. You raise the glass to your lips, inhaling the stuff's aroma. The bouquet is light, sweet, intoxicating, almost dizzyingly so. You've tried countless drinks, written tomes about them, their flavors and smells, means of manufacture, in your journeys across the plains. But this stuff was supposed to be legendary. No living man you'd found or heard of had tried the stuff. The stories were ridiculous. Nothing could taste quite so good. But if there were the slightest bit of truth to them, this would be some fine liquor indeed. At last, you drink of the goblet. A cautious sip. Incredible, indescribable. As the flavor washes over your palate, you fight the urge to shudder with delight. Nothing you have tried in all your long years has tasted quite like this. You look up at the old man, startled to find your glass empty. You had drained it all in a single draught. You wipe your eyes with the back of your hand, not entirely sure when you had begun to cry. Tears of joy, eh? The old man laughs softly. Quite pleasing to the tongue, is it not? Wouldst thou like some more, perchance? And he smiles at you once more. Yes, if I might. Surely, he replies, refilling your glass. Try as you might, you cannot resist downing it in a single gulp. You'd thrust your finger into the goblet in an attempt to find some last hidden drop of the stuff. Several times more does he fill the goblet, and each time you gulp the stuff down as a starving man would devour a feast, unable to control yourself to deny yourself another exquisite taste of it. He chuckles softly once more. A drink such as this, a man would do anything for it, no? You nod without hesitation. Yes, a man would. Looking at him, his sly smile suddenly takes on a whole new meaning. A sense of horror begins to creep over you, even as you begin to yearn painfully for more of the blood-red liquor. Yes, yes, the old man grins, his yellow eyes gleaming. A man wouldst do anything in the thrall of such a drink, even the most terrible, the most heinous of deeds, as thou shalt see, my dearest servant. Well, that wasn't very slowly creeping horror. Was that what I bought? It wasn't very slow, that's the thing. It was very sudden. But that's what I meant by the timing and all that sort of stuff. What was that? Slowly dawning horror. Yeah, it wasn't very slow. But still, it was dawning horror, I guess. Indescribable frustration. That is one of the larger chambers. 3. Okay, so let's go with that. Oh, indescribable frustration. Are we playing a game? Special game or something? Oh my god, time has just flown by as I read these things. You can see it now. The crown of Aephon, gleaming upon a marble pedestal. No more than 20 strides away it is. With it, you could wrest control of the armies of Aethanopolis away from your treacherous brother and restore your father's kingdom. A fool your wretched brother was. You smile grimly at the thought to leave the king's only daughter alive, thinking she could do him no harm. A sound! The creak of leather sandals and the softest hiss over there by that third pillar. She was close now. Polafi, the Medusa, jealously guarding the crown her servants had stolen for her so long ago. Crouching behind a white pillar, you wrap your hand tightly around your trusted thrice-blessed javelin. With your helm of swiftness and 100 mirrored shield, even a beast such as Polafi would be no match for you. Any moment now, she would round the pillar and meet the sight of you. Even if she turned away from the shield, your javelin would surely find her throat. Suddenly, there is a gentle touch on your shoulder. You gasp, spinning around to face, of course, the Medusa. Accepting the inevitable, you only have time to lose a piercing cry of frustration before your lungs and every other part of you solidifies into cold, gray stone. You idiot. You idiot. Indescribable frustration. Well, it's not as indescribable as some of the frustration I've personally felt playing some games, or watching somebody else play some games. Yeah, but that was frustration, I guess. Like, resigned frustration, I suppose, because he just said, you only have time for this. So maybe he knew that he would only have time for that one last thing. But anyway, we're out of time for the day because, man, these things take a while. A vastly important secret. Vastly there is used in a weird way, but yeah, I guess we'll find out in the next episode what that is. For right now, I'm Critical RPG, and this has been Planescape Torment. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye!